Hello and welcome back to Solid. My name is Jake. Thank you guys very much for joining me. Today is Wednesday, April 30th, and we got what am I calling? What is this? A ReKawp is what we're doing. We're talking about a ReKawp. We got a ReKawp of the Battlehawks 32-27 win over the Michigan Panthers in what was that, week 5. I didn't do a rehawction. I didn't do a rehawk. I had two shows going on during the game, and I like my reaction to be real. I want it to be, if I'm doing a reaction, I'm putting all my reaction into it. I don't want it to be like I'm going back and looking at this game, and that's what happened. Is that I got done with the game, and then. I went on stage, and then after the Panthers scored their second to last touchdown, and then I got off stage, and then the Battlehawks won 30-27 or 32-27. So I ended up going back and watching it after the show, and I was like, yeah, I don't. It seemed like it was going to be disingenuous, so I did not do a rehawction. But my rehawction probably would have been the same. And what a game! What a game that was! That was fun. That was a fun football game. We're coming off of 2 weeks in a row where we're watching Battlehawks football is not fun. And this was so much fun. What the hell? This was a fun game. What a good game. Back and forth. 6 lead changes. Get out of town. Get out of town with that. That is fun. That's fun. That is what spring football should be. That's what that is. I had fun watching that, man. Going back and rewatching that game to prepare for this, that was an enjoyable experience. Yeah, there was some duds, offensive drives and everything, but that was good, man. I like that, and let's get into it. Obviously, we're gonna start with Max Duggan. Max Duggan, I am nothing really about his performance. His performance was good. It was a good performance. He only threw the ball 12 times, had 9 completions for 124 yards. Let me pull up his passing chart. Did I get everything on his passing chart? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I only got 11. I missed one of them. Obviously, there was 4 of them behind the line of scrimmage, which is not fun. Incompletions deep left. But man, that was good. That was a lot. That was a fun football game to watch, man. I really enjoyed that. But yeah, Max Duggan. I loved what they did with him. Because it's watching him play, because he's kind of got the same tools a little bit as Manny Wilkins did, but Max Duggan's so much more decisive. Like a lot of Manny Wilkins scrambles and runs and everything like that were when he pulls the ball, when he's looking downfield and he didn't pull the trigger downfield. Max Duggan, it's just like, hey, this fucking guy's gonna run the ball. And that's what's gonna happen here. And then Michigan, on these read options, they kept allowing him to pull it. And it's like, guys, what on earth? Why would you do that? Why wouldn't you? Why? Like, yeah, Jacob Saylor's a really good running back, and what did he average? He was averaging this 4.1 yards per carry. Like, Jacob Saylor's getting some good fucking runs, man. But they just kept letting Manny Wilkins do it, and Manny Wilkins averaged 7 yards per carry. Like, man, it was, yeah. So Max Duggan was averaging 7 yards per carry. He had 10 carries for 70 yards, 2 touchdowns, had a long of 15. The guy was just constantly breaking it to the outside, and I loved it. And then they would do these plays. They did it, I think it was like 3 or 4 times throughout the game. It was like 3 to one side, 1 to the other, where they would just move the entire offensive line. They would be like, hey, I understand that the ball's getting snapped right here, but we're actually just gonna, like, instead of doing that, we're just gonna move everything over to the right or to the left, and then it just gave Max Duggan these beautiful runs. And the way he was doing it, man, I don't know if this is the way that they're coaching it, but so Mike Panashuk, the center, would be pulling either to the right or to the left, and Manny Wilkins would just be hiding behind him, about a yard, maybe two yards maximum behind him, like right equal with him. And then as soon as Mike Panashuk made contact and started a block, Manny Wilkins, or not Manny, goddamn, why can't it be Manny Wilkins and like fucking John? What's a different letter than W? Any other letter than W? John Alexander. Why is my brain so dumb that I couldn't think of a letter, and then I went to the first letter. It's not important. Anyway, so Max is like hiding behind Mike Panashuk. Mike Panashuk makes first contact with somebody. Max Duggan just turns on the jets and goes north and south, man. He was so good north and south. He thinks that he's much tougher than he is. But he's very tough. I'm not saying he's not tough, but that guy took some shots, man. So, obviously I'm still going to continue to ask for RPOs rather than just read options and stuff like that. But, it was good. It was good. I really enjoyed it. His performance, I think that he did real well. There's a few throws that he missed. He did have the beautiful underthrow DPI. Like that was great, and that was the one that I think the shit dicks that Mike Nolan on Michigan challenged that, but he ain't gonna win a challenge on a DPI on an underthrow. That's the best play in football. It's the most efficient play in football, and he challenged it and he didn't get it. But yeah, no, that I think Max Duggan. Yeah, from what we saw last week to this week, it's like, okay, they actually have a playbook for him. And I think that was kind of the biggest thing. Again, in week 4, they were saying like, yeah, we actually just threw out the playbook and we went to the audible play sheet. And it's like, well, that seems like that's setting yourself up for disaster. And that's one thing that they mentioned on the broadcast is that the backup quarterbacks, they get like no practice time. And I don't know that much about what because I guess the entire league just signed a new CBA, collective bargaining agreement, or something along those lines. And in that bargaining agreement, and in some of these contracts that the Players Association signs with the league, is that it talks about how much practice time each player gets, or how much practice time the players have to do. And I know in the NFL there are like some guideline limitations is the word for it. Those limitations are there to make it so like teams don't do two-a-days and stuff like that. And NFL teams never really run up against those limitations. The limitations are just there, like how many practices the players have to do or can do, and just make it so they don't have to do like a crazy amount of them. The teams never really run up against that limitation. I'm wondering if they maybe do that in the UFL. I'm wondering if maybe the teams do run up against the limitation, and that's why these backup guys don't get the run that they need to in the practice that they need to. So very clearly last week, my point is Max Duggan was a backup quarterback coming into an offense. The offense was not built for him. And then this week, it clearly was. They were doing things that we never saw them do with Manny Wilkins, with Max Duggan. It was good. I'm glad to see that they kind of changed and did some stuff. They mentioned that during the broadcast, is that they did some stuff that I think Phil McGeegan said that he saw some stuff that they did with Max Duggan at TCU in 2022, and they implemented that stuff. And honestly, I think that's what that moving the offensive line was. I think that's kind of where that came from. There was still some of the same stupid bullshit that we have seen with Manny Wilkins, being the screens to Ja'Cour Pearson. They did a screen to Blake Jackson and it worked. And then they kept trying it and like end arounds to Ja'Cour Pearson. Even on like extra points, they did like a push pass, and I hate a push pass. To be fair, the push pass that Blake Jackson throw to Hakeem Butler was off a push pass, so that was technically a double pass. But I hate a push pass in just like by itself. And they kept doing that and trying to get Ja'Cour Pearson to the outside. And it's like, man, this isn't working. I don't know what they need to do with Ja'Cour Pearson, but whatever they're doing with him, it ain't it. I was kind of hoping that Ja'Cour Pearson, having him and Hakeem Butler on the field at the same time, was going to allow them to put the safeties under some pressure, some duress, but they didn't really do that a whole lot. There was like one deep throw in the end zone that Max Duggan overthrew Ja'Cour Pearson in the end zone, and it's like, I don't know, how many times did Ja'Cour Pearson get targeted? He only got targeted twice. That can't be right, because it said that he has 2 catches. But it says that he only got targeted twice. He got targeted in the end zone, so this is incorrect. But I don't know. That part of the offense is still a little bit broken. But I like what they did with the quarterback. And I mean, we were talking about the most important player, most important position in professional sports, most important position in all of sports is a quarterback, because he touches the ball in every single play. And they did something with Max Duggan, and it really, really worked. So I'm very happy about that. As far as knocks on him, I'm not entirely sure There was one time, it was on the Battlehawks' first drive. He rushed a throw to Hakeem Butler, threw behind him. He had time to be able to do it, I think. He had time to be able to kind of put that ball in the right spot, but he rushed it. Again, that's kind of the story with this game, is that the offense did not seem to have their shit together in the beginning of the game. And it really kind of came together near the end of the game. They started putting stuff together. In the middle of the game is like when the offense initially clicked. That seemed like that was when they were the most efficient. I say not most efficient. That was when they were most. That was when things were firing. That's when you're like, oh, this offense can still do this. The most efficient, obviously, is a 67-yard pass and a 54-yard pass to Hakeem Butler. You can't beat that level of efficiency. But I think that when the offense like really started to gel, like that first 2 drives where they started to gel, it's like they fucking got this shit. That was good. Let's see. Did I have anything else about Max Duggan? He felt pressure a little bit early. I think that's one of them things where it's just going to take him. Again, that's only the second drive, the offense's second drive. Let's see. He missed Blake Jackson. They were putting JaCorey Pearson. Anyway, let's get to the running game. Aside from Max Duggan, Jacob Taylor still good. Jarvian Howard did not do a whole lot. I understand why they were using him the way that they did. You can't just ride Jacob Sailors the entire game. They didn't exactly ride Jacob Sailors at all in this game. He only had 12 carries. What was that, like the first couple games? It seems like he was up there near or past 20 carries. But Jarvian Howard, they were trying to get him outside. I like Jarvian Howard as a north and south guy too. Kind of like I wonder if Max Duggan's skill set as a runner kind of washes away Jarvian Howard's upside, if that makes sense. Like Max Duggan being able to just be like, hey, I'm just actually gonna run forward, because that's kind of where Jarvian Howard's had like the most not the most success, because he did have that huge run in I think week 1 or 2, but that's kind of where he's had the most consistent success, is being able to be like, I'm actually just gonna fucking smash your teeth in. If I could do that to you real quick, I'm just gonna do that. That's what Jarvian Howard did. And then Max Duggan's like, how about me smash teeth? How about me do that? So I'm kind of wondering about what Jarvian Howard's usage is going to be going forward. But the usage of him on Saturday was, not exactly my favorite. They were trying to bounce him around to the outside, and I'm not entirely sure that's what he's got in his bag. But yeah, no, Jacob Sailors is still good. Did not get any touchdowns this game. He was not he had 2 catches for 23 yards, which, there was only 12 passes in the game. So that's not the same as like the 9 catches for 91 yards that he had last week, which is, I'm fine with, because that means that you're pushing the ball to other pass catchers and stuff like that. But that was, what are you going to do? I think that the offensive line played a much better game this week. I think that they played a much, much better game this week. And they did it against, it's kind of what I was saying going into this game, is that when the Battlehawks played the Renegades and they played the Defenders, that offensive line, or those were 2 really good defensive lines, and they came off 2 games where they played the 2 worst defensive lines. And Michigan's defensive line is good. So I'm kind of happy that Abdul Beachum, I wonder if it is an Abdul Beachum thing, where he just comes in and he kind of ties everything together. I didn't necessarily see that, but maybe, I don't know, maybe it's a mentality thing that they got when he's in there. But the 3 best games that the offensive line has played with is with Abdul Beachum. I don't know if that's a causation, is a correlation kind of a thing, or what the hell it is, but that's the facts. The offensive line played a much better game and allowed everything to really go. They gave Max Duggan some really good pockets. There was only 1 sack. I think he only got sacked once, maybe. Let me look up on the defense. Sacks. He got sacked twice. He got sacked twice. I'm not entirely sure when the second one was, but the 1 sack that he took was a pretty violent one. But yeah, no, good game from the offense. You score 32 points. I'm going to be happy with that. They did have a couple farts there where they kick field goals and stuff like that. Red zone play calling was not exactly my favorite. That's kind of what I'm talking about. It wasn't like the thing that they did at the end of last week where they just like abandoned the passing game. They just had some really uncreative runs and tried to force the ball to some guys that I'm not entirely sure that's what you should have done, namely JaCorey Pearson. How many times did JaCorey Pearson actually touch the ball? He didn't actually run at all. They're only saying he got the ball twice, had -3 yards. That's wrong. He's better than that. He's better than that. One thing I really liked in this game, though, and this plays into the running game, is the usage of Jake Sutherland and Chase Allen, the 2 tight ends, as lead blockers. Man, oh man, it's I wouldn't at this point. I mean, their usage is much more of an H back. It's not just like a pure tight end. It's not like they're trying to give help to a in the running game. It's not like they're trying to give help to a tackle or move them into the second level off the edge for outside zones and stuff like that. They're taking these guys, they're moving them, and then just like there was one awesome run where they just like Mike Panashuk. They just replaced Mike Panashuk with Chase Allen. Like Mike Panashuk is like, you know what? Actually, I'm just gonna go. You see those linebackers back there? I'm just gonna go fuck one of them up and get 5 extra yards for my running back. And then Chase Allen comes in and replaces and just takes the nose tackle. And it was like, why? This is exactly what should be happening. These are the creative runs that we're looking for. And it's not necessarily like doing something creative with the running back, but being creative with the blocking scheme. And it's beautiful. It's beautiful when it works, man. I really enjoyed that. Otherwise, Jake Sutherland, using him in the passing game, fucking great. Like we know that this works, yet we don't do it near often. Like he had 2 catches for 21 yards, about 3 catches because it doesn't count it, but on a 2-point conversion, on an extra point, he caught that the beautiful ball by Duggan, putting it down only where a tight end can catch it. Man, it's like. This is a completely underutilized thing in this offense, and whenever it works, man, it's just so fucking pretty. You see offenses use it against the Battlehawks, and it's like, man, I don't know if Phil McGeegan is like closing his eyes when his team is not on the field or what's going on, but using those tight ends in the passing game, man, it's almost like a cheat code. It's almost like a cheat code because you're lining them up. They're more their usage, their athleticism in the passing game is more athletic than a linebacker's athleticism in a passing game. That makes sense. I feel like that makes sense. Like it's much easier to hide a linebacker and throw them downhill and allow them to get after a quarterback or come downhill and make a tackle because that's easier. That's a much easier thing for a football player to do than when you throw a linebacker into coverage and you get a tight end who knows exactly what he's doing. It's easy for them to just take out a line. You just get them free. It's not the most difficult thing to scheme open. And you know when it happened in this game, it was fucking sick. He had a 20-yard catch. It's like a hell yeah, dude. It's great. I don't know. That's kind of my takeaway with the offense here. I like the way that things worked. The things that didn't work, it's very clear that they didn't work. It's pretty clear why they didn't work. You're throwing the ball to Ja'Cour Pearson on the outside while he's standing still. It's like, why not try to do some type of, I don't know, a bubble screen or something like that rather than just like having him take a step back and catch the ball flat-footed. Give him the ball while he's moving, something short. Get him ball past the line of scrimmage. It's something short and allow him to work that way. I understand what they're trying to do with these screens and stuff like that. You're trying to make it so they have to bring more guys up, not necessarily loading the box, but they're bringing a safety up in order to have to help with the screens, and that leaves something deep open for Hakeem Butler to get these huge catches. And to be fair, it worked like that, but I'm not entirely sure it worked like that because I think that was a results over process. Like I'm not entirely sure the process is really what worked with that. Maybe it is. I'm not in the head of Mike Nolan and the Michigan Panthers defensive staff. I'm not in their heads, but you know, I'm not entirely sure. And I think that this screen game all is stemming from is that like in that week 1 game, there was 2 3rd and 18s on one drive, and they hit 2 screen passes, one to Jacob Sailors and one to Ja'Cour Pearson, and each of them, I think Ja'Cour Pearson got like 27 yards or 30 yards on his, and Jake Sailors got 19 yards on the 3rd and 18. It's like, yeah, it worked then, but man, I hope. It's like going to the casino and hitting big the first time you ever go. It's like, man, you're chasing a dragon that I'm not entirely sure is there, my guy. Like I just don't like it. I like the downfield passing game, and I like a creative blocking scheme in the run game. You got the players to do it, and I like the way that they used Max Duggan. That's kind of my take with the offense. Going to the defense, though. What time is it? It's 6 o'clock. I got about a half hour. Okay. To be fair, what my plan is here is that I'm going to do the ReKawp right now, and then I'm going to go say jokes, and then I'm going to come back tonight, have a couple beers, have whiskey, something like that. I'm going to do some mid-season awards. That one shouldn't be too long. I don't think that one. This one probably. I got to get out of here right at 6:30. It's 5:57 right now. So yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna post this shit, and then yeah. I think that's a very clear plan. And then tomorrow I'll be back with a bird's eye preview for the game on Friday. Okay, going into the defense. This one's pretty cut and dry. We're seeing a lot of the same issues that we have seen. So the defense this game, they let up, I believe, the most points that they've let up this season. The defense, that is. Last week, the team got scored on more, but that is because of the two, like one pick six and one scoop and score. So yeah, in week one, Battlehawks only let up 15 points. No. In week one, Battlehawks only let up 6 points. Week two, they only let up 9 points. Week 3, it was 27 points. So this is the same as week 3. Week 4 was 30 points, and then this game is back to 27 points. So we saw a lot of the same issues that we have seen with this team, specifically in coverage. But it's different players. Like they tried doing a few things at the cornerback opposite of Chris Payton-Jones, CPJ. They put in, they started with Miles Jones, and then they went to Nick Whiteside. Miles Jones did not have a good game. He was getting picked on, man. He was getting really, really picked on. That's one thing that Bryce Perkins. Let me start with this. The Panthers offense. Bryce Perkins was 21 for 25, 235 yards, 2 touchdowns. That's a completion rate of 84%. That's fucking wild. That is entirely too high. Then they did put in Danny Etling one time on purpose and one time not on purpose, and Danny Etling sucks ass, man. Okay, number one, I should say the reason the Battlehawks won this game is because of that drive where they put Danny Etling in, and then Danny Etling threw an interception. That's why the Battlehawks won this game. That is why. That was such a mind fuck. Like, at that point, Bryce Perkins, I think, was like 11 for 12 and 100-something yards passing, and then they're like, how about we put in a dipshit? And then they put in a dipshit, and then like 6 plays later, the dipshit does a dipshit thing and overthrows a ball pathetically, and Cam Kelly comes up with an interception, and then a pretty good, I think it was like a 30-yard return or something like that. So Bryce Perkins was 21 for 25, 235, 2 touchdowns. Toa, that guy is a fucking beefcake, man. What a fun name, Toa. Again, I would say his name on repeat just for an hour and a half if I could, but you guys probably wouldn't listen to that. Toa, their running back, 15 carries, 74 yards, 2 touchdowns. Their leading receiver was Sayausi Mariner is what his. I'm saying that wrong. I remember they said it during the broadcast, and it just sounds like 2 letters. COC, maybe? Whatever. Number 4, guy had 6 catches for 111 yards. Malik Turner, 8 catches for 71 yards. We kind of knew that the passing game was going to be funneled between those 2 guys. I believe I said going into this game, they caught like 39% of all of the passes this season. So we kind of knew that 14 of the 25 passes were going to end up going to those 2 guys. Samson Nakua, who did get suspended for a game because he slapped a Battlehawks fan after the game, or maybe it's like at the end of the game. He had 3 catches for 46 yards. So their passing game was very, very effective. And a lot of that was due to them just abusing the second or third string cornerback that was on the side opposite of Chris Payton-Jones. That's trouble, man. They had a beautiful, beautiful honey hole shot, which is where they attack the zone in between the flat and then the deep half. There's a seam right there, and when you can hit a ball there, man, it's fucking pretty. And Bryce Perkins did that a couple times, which is not good, man. It's just the cornerbacks playing too far into the flat. Are playing too far up into the flat, not dropping deep enough. The safeties are playing back, kind of. I don't know. It's a clusterfuck. I have already said that the coverage from the secondary, I slammed the panic button, and this game is one where that panic button deserved to be slammed because it looked like shit. Lucas Dennis is kind of one of the standout guys on the Battlehawks defense. They asked this guy to do a lot. He's their nickel corner, and their usage of him, like, he's a good ball player, apparently. Like, the guy, he has some blunders, but that's because he's asked to do a shitload. Like, this is kind of their queen, I believe. Like, their queen on the chessboard, as it were. Like, They asked this guy to fly around. They put him in they ask him to cover man in motion, and he's looping around. They don't exactly have the best pathways for him. They're asking him to do a lot, and then he did have an awesome sack. I believe it was on a second down, and he passed off some coverage. Bryce Perkins rolled out to the left, and I think Lucas Dennis, if I'm recalling correctly, he was either covering a guy in man and took him out into the flat, or maybe he was just covering the flat. But he sees Bryce Perkins kind of come out, and then I don't know if he's supposed to pass off his zone to Nick Whiteside, a backup cornerback. I'm not entirely sure he's supposed to do that. Seems like a risky move, but he did, and he came down and got a sack. It seemed like a hell of a gamble. If that's what's supposed to happen, good, I guess, because it worked. Otherwise, man, that could have been something gnarly. Could have popped the ball right over Lucas Dennis's head, but he did get the sack, so that was kind of sick. And I believe that might have been like maybe the only like pure sack that the Battlehawks had this game. Let me go check real quick. As far as sacks go, yeah, that was the one sack, was Lucas Dennis's sack. Otherwise, the safeties, Cam Kelly had the really good interception off of that bad pass. Had great body control. In good hands too, and it's funny to see that because again, 5 plays before that, maybe 6 plays before that, it was on Danny Etling's first pass. Quinterio Cole comes down and tries to pick it off, and that's like the guy's. I don't know if he has had an interception this year. I think he might have had one, but I don't know how many times he's had near interceptions, because that ball, man, that guy loves coming downhill for the ball. That is his thing. That dude, Quinterio Cole loves himself a downhill. He loves trying to jump a route, and he plays so fast on the ball, and he has bad hands. And then you see Cam Kelly get an interception. It's like that. It's pretty good. It's pretty good compared to the example that we had 2 minutes before that. So that was a really good interception by him. But there was a lot less Quinterio Cole in this game. I wonder if they're kind of trying to play some like risk aversion kind of a thing. They knew that Bryce Perkins was going to play the ball, and if Quinterio Cole was in there, he was going to make some gambles and come downhill and leave guys open deep. Didn't necessarily matter because guys got left open deep a lot. But there was a lot more Nate Maters. And one thing I noticed is that the Panthers went 12 personnel, meaning one running back, two tight ends, and leaving two wide receivers. I think that's right? So that would be 5 guys and then 6. Yeah. So they went 12 personnel, which is that's a heavy package. And instead of matching that and going base, the Battlehawks went out and did one deep safety, but then also kept in Lucas Dennis at nickel and Nate Maters as kind of like a big nickel. I think that's what they were doing. I don't know if I'm seeing a team go 12 personnel. I think I want to throw out another linebacker, because they did this and I think it was on like a early 3rd and 1 or 4th and 1, maybe like that. And then they ended up getting the first down. They kind of just ran through, obviously away from Austin Falliou at that point. And it's like, why? I think we should put in bigger guys to match bigger personnel. I don't know. It seemed kind of weird when I saw it to like keep the small guys in when it's a running down. They're going to run the ball here. I don't know. I thought that was just kind of a weird thing. I haven't necessarily noticed that a whole lot, but it was weird when I saw it. Obviously, so the issues that we saw in this game, again, same that we've seen. Coverage is shaky. The new problem is Austin Falliou going down. Because he did in this game. I'm gonna pull up the what's it called? The injury report so far, and I think this is the one from Tuesday. I haven't seen. Let me see if James Larson has put this out on Twitter yet. The one for Thursday, because Austin Falliou did go down, and it sucks because apparently he is really important. Because I knew that he got hurt. And so my eyes were constantly like drawn to him throughout the game, and I wrote his name down a whole bunch of times. Like, the guy was absolutely just fucking eating double teams and making plays. He was assaulting the right guard, shoving him into the ground and making plays. The guy, he's good, man. He's a beefcake, and he's good. And then he went down. So Austin Falliou, he was on the injury report for Monday and Tuesdays. It did not practice with a left knee, so that sucks. I doubt that he'll play. I don't know. It looked not good. It's good that they don't have him on. They didn't put him on the IR, so that's nice. I don't think it'll be an ACL. Maybe it's like a sprain or something like that. I don't. It's not. In the injury, it looked like it might have been a contact injury where he maybe got rolled up on. But it certainly, I don't know. It was kind of like in a clusterfuck when it happened. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not a doctor, and I've said it before. If you are a doctor, you should stop listening to this because I'm a dumbass. But yeah, so he's down, and so he went down in the at the beginning at some point in the third quarter. And the big difference that we saw in the first half, Michigan ran the ball 10 times for 38 yards. In the second half, they ran the ball 20 times for 75 yards. It was very clear when he was out. They were just like, hey, that fucking meatball's not in anymore. What if we just ran straight at, I think it was Freedom Akinmoladun and Hoskins. I can't remember. Phil Hoskins. What if Phil Hoskins went down for a minute too, but he came back in the game. It's kind of thin. It's kind of thin both positionally and both size-wise at defensive tackle now, which is not where you want to be, especially going back up against a Arlington team who are playing this week, and they've got Kalen Ballage, who that guy can fucking run, man. And having your run stuffing big boy there. Fuck, Jordan Davis. The Eagles just extended did his fifth year option today. It's like very clearly these big guys are valuable to teams. It's stopping the run's huge, and you get the guy who could stop the run and also jam shit up in the passing game, and again eat double teams. I would prefer that earlier on Freedom Akinmoladun was kind of winning his one-on-ones because Austin Faly was drawing these double teams. But these guys are valuable, and when he wasn't on the field, Michigan was just like, how about we just run? And then that really opened up the passing game in the second half too. So that was kind of the problem, and I think that might be a problem going forward. But that's kind of where I'm at with this defensive line. It's not good. Peter Tamoy-Penu, death, taxes, and Peter Tamoy-Penu getting pressure late in the fourth quarter. That was awesome on that Michigan's last drive. Just comes in and absolutely just unblocked. Free rusher. You get a free rusher. You got a free rusher. You're gonna give a team a free rusher. You know that we know that you're gonna pass. We know that you're gonna pass because you have to pass. You have one timeout left, and there's less than 4 minutes left in the game. We know you have to pass. And you're gonna give a team a free rusher. That's stupid. You're stupid, Michigan. That's so stupid. Somebody blew an assignment there. I don't know who the hell it was, but Peter Tamoy-Penu, the guy does clutch shit. He's not exactly alive in the middle 56 minutes of a game, but in the starting and ending 4 minutes, that guy, he'll fuck you up. And if you let him fuck you up, he's going to do that. There's a few times where he got thrown out of the club, and it allowed Bryce Perkins to be able to kind of run outside a little bit. My thought here, though, well, no, that'll be a thing for tomorrow. My thought is that when Danny Etling was in, the Battlehawks, the Panthers did not have the +1 in the run game. Danny Etling's not a threat with his legs like Bryce Perkins is. That's kind of why that their entire offense went to shit, not just this game, but this entire season, because he's pathetic. And Bryce Perkins offers that, and Luis Perez does not offer that. I'm going to end up saying the same shit tomorrow. Anyway, linebackers did good, I think. Willie Harvey, man, candidate for, if it wasn't for Hakeem Butler, you know, let's get into it. Let's get into the awards. Number one award always is Cacaw of the Week. Cacaw of the Week goes to the Battlehawks best player. Battlehawks best player in the game is Hakeem Butler. Hakeem Butler, get the fuck out of here, man. I didn't want to talk about him earlier because guy comes into this game. Okay, no catches this entire season. He's been targeted a couple times in week 1. Never got anything. Comes in this game, gets targeted early in the game. Silent. Everybody's asking, like, where's Hakeem Butler? Why are we doing this? Why is Hakeem Butler? Oh, just a 67-yard touchdown pass. You know, it looked like a fucking practice rep too, man. Like they weren't even going full speed. This looked like a fucking warm up because Hakeem Butler on a sluggo makes this the cornerback Mills, I think the cat's name was, just fucking eat his own dick. The guy falls and just looks like a buffoon. Hakeem Butler wide open, takes the ball, walks in the end zone. Just whoop. Yeah, that was beautiful. Like, welcome back, my guy. Where you been? Hello, how you doing? Okay, next drive, Panthers go down and score. Does not help with the penalty and stuff like that. Next drive, Battlehawks come back on the field, run the ball one time, doesn't really do a whole lot. Okay, and then they're like, we're gonna do some bullshit here, and then they do a little push pass to Blake Jackson. Blake Jackson, former Southeast Missouri State University great. Go Redhawks, I guess. End around to him. It's like, oh, this is a double pass. This is some bullshit that they're going to do here. And they thought that the Panthers thought that this is just going to be a pure end around. They thought it was going to be a pure end around. They crashed from the sideline. They're like, okay, we've seen them do this shit a bunch of times. Pure end around. Blake Jackson says, no, fuckhead, and then slams on the brake, resets his feet, and just launches one to Hakeem Butler for another 54 yards. Get the fuck out of town, Hakeem. Get the fuck out of here, you. You come back in here. You come back in here and do that. Beautiful, my guy. Beautiful. Love that. So Hakeem Butler, Cacaw of the week. Missed ya 5 weeks in. Back like he never left. Hakeem Butler, Cacaw of the week. Of the week. Of the week is going to end up going, I kind of said it earlier, is going to go to Miles Jones. Man, he got abused in the early part of that game, and then they pulled him. I think they might have put him back in a little bit later, but it was ugly. It was ugly for him. I didn't like that. Or maybe it could go to Ja'Cour Pearson because because that's more on Phil McGigan. We know that Ja'Cour Pearson can be good. So it's going to go to Miles Sims. Sorry, friend, but that just not your day. And I'm really hoping that you do have a day at some point, just not that it was not this one. That one he's number 24. He got his fucking, they stole his lunch and made him eat it. That was tough. Bitch of the week. Bitch of the week is going to go to the entirety of the Panthers team. Because, is it not on here? Where the fuck is it? Come on. Let's see if I can find, if I Google not Google, but if I Control F penalties for the full game. Come on, where's that full game thing? I thought I fucking added up. The, maybe bitch of the week is rules. Let's make bitch of the week rules because the Panthers did not like following the rules. God damn it. Where the fuck are the number of penalties at? Am I stupid? Am I missing something? Oh, okay. Here it is. They had 10 penalties. They had 10 penalties for a massive, can I not see penalty yardage? Dude, I am sorry. Dude, I had this lined up. Dude, I was going to do this whole thing where I was going to shit on them for having every penalty in the book, man. Oh, that sucks. I don't know why I can't find it. They had a lot of penalties and a lot of penalty yardage, man. It was real pathetic how much they just completely disobeyed the rules. Bitch of the week goes to the rules, and specifically to the Michigan Panthers for being like, actually, I don't fucking want to pay attention to them. They had 10 penalties, and it absolutely killed them. Man, I was going to do a whole thing, and it was going to be fun, and I was going to enjoy it, and it's whatever. Hot mic of the week. Not even a hot mic, because they just interviewed Hakeem Butler. We've been missing this, too. We haven't had a whole lot of good hot mics. We haven't had a whole lot of good ones. Hakeem Butler gets a 67-yard touchdown pass, comes onto the sideline. Sam Acho's interviewing him, and then they're talking about why that play worked, and they're like, well, they're loading the box, and then they're going to put some safeties out there to try to cover me. These motherfuckers can't do that. And they just left it in. And then Sam Acho's just like, thanks, Hakeem. 30 seconds later, two guys in the booth are like, sorry for what you heard. It's like, you're not. You guys are laughing. You guys just turn your mics off. You were laughing at that because that was fucking hilarious. So that's gonna go to that. Donkey kick of the week is gonna go to Rodrigo Blankenship. Man, I was wrong about him. I was wrong about Rodrigo Blankenship. I believe the guy has not missed one yet. Maybe he has only missed one, but Rodrigo Blankenship, 2 for 2 again. He's good, man. He's good. He's a good kicker. I don't They also didn't use them on any. They didn't kick any stupid short fourth down field goals too. So that's good. Do I have any other? Hey, don't do that, dumbass of the week is going to be Mike Nolan for putting Danny Etling in and just absolutely ruining the game for them. What a dumb shit idea that was. Hey, dumbass, what are you thinking, stupid? Hey, dumbass. The hey, dumbass of a week goes to Mike Nolan. Thank you for doing it. It made the game terrific. And I appreciate him doing that. But, hey, dumbass, don't do that. Goes to Mike Nolan. So those are my awards. That is the the ReKawp of the Battlehawks going at home, winning a must-win game, 32-27. Game of the year? No, because there's another game on. It was a pretty fucking good game though. It was a good game. It's up there. There were some good football games this weekend. So that is the ReKawp. I think I covered everything. Let's see. Max Duggan did that. The running game did that. Pass catchers, I did that. I don't know. Defense was worrisome, and I think it could be worrisome again. Maybe it won't show up this week, but I think it'll show up in the future. There was no stupid challenges by Big Tone. I still think he's not much of it. He doesn't do a whole lot. Tells guys to leave it all out on the field, which is kind of fun. That's a fun thing to tell people. To just be like, hey, go, hey, give 110% effort. It's like, what are you, a fucking sitcom? What am I watching? One Tree Hill? That's not a sitcom, but it's a TV show, and it seems like something on a TV show like that would say. I don't know. So no blunders by him. I think there was one play call that they did that I didn't like, but one is pretty bad, or that one is pretty good. Because there's a bunch of play calls that they do that I don't like. So yeah, no, coaching staff I think did much better this game. So that's where we're at. That's the ReKawp. Battlehawks 3-2, baby. Battlehawks 3-2, still in third place in the XFL division, but they're going to play those other shit dicks from Dallas on Friday. We'll get to that. I will be back with you guys later tonight with a. That'd probably be a shorter one with a mid-season awards kind of a thing going on. But you should feel good. That was a big win. It was a fun football game too, man. That was a fun football game. But yeah, okay. Go Birds, cause the law, caw, go Iron Birds, go Battlehawks. Anything that you say to anybody is gonna count. It's gonna count as that people are gonna know that you're a Battlehawks person. Like I went outside, it was before it rained. One of my moonflowers needed some water. My neighbor's across the street. I said, I was watering. I said, oh, you think it's supposed to rain later? You still gonna water? I said, yeah, this thing's looking a little wilted. And they're like, oh, okay. But obviously, when I said that to them, they were like, oh, a guy's just a Battlehawks guy. That's what he's saying. But that's where we're at. Go Birds. Talk to you guys later. How do I turn it off? There it is.